she doesn't feel like she can come to you and tell you this.
Yeah.
You're not a safe space for her.
Whoa.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 246 of
How Married Are You? Okay, my name is Belief. This is Yvette. We married 14
years.
Live in California. We got
four
four
kids.
Relationship scary is very necessary. Share love a struggle. We ask
How married are you?
Every Tuesday and Thursday.
Sometimes.
If you're listening, you're in the wedding part. Sometimes deep, sometimes lighthearted. And I don't know what else to say, so it's time to get it started. And it's
chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
It's chocolate baby story time.
1, 2, 3, and
looks like we're having some fires. Have you been getting all the notifications?
Chocolate baby story time.
Okay. Did you even talk about a nice hair?
Yeah, in the last episode.
Oh, you did, yeah. Okay, man. I did a thing. For years, you guys have been asking us about possibly letting the kids start their own YouTube channel, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I shot one video. It's a really cool concept with Uriah Bo, and he gets to be his entire self, and it's magical. I think it's magical. I think this kid is gonna be at least enjoying himself to this, probably the best days of his life are gonna be shooting this YouTube video episode thing. He's so charismatic and so funny and so free. And I'm just trying to stay out his way and help. How do you feel about it?
I think it's gonna be great. I think it's right up his alley. And he's gonna do great. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
He's excited about it. He's very excited about it.
Yes.
So this morning, did you hear the debate we were having upstairs?
Oh, I heard about it afterwards. About who's more responsible.
So the kids just found out that my lovely husband has granted me, I don't want to say permission, but he has cleared the way for me to go away for my birthday next month. Or I don't know when this episode comes out. So I might be on that trip right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they were like, what the heck? And they found out where I was going, and they're like, they want to go because they love the person I'm going to go visit. But then the conversation came up because they were like, you didn't even let dad go. And I was like, I would love for your father to go, but there's no childcare. So somebody's got to stay behind and watch you guys. And then we got into this whole conversation about like, well, if you were to leave somebody with us, like which child would you leave in charge? And I automatically was like, Theo, like, Theo. And then I don't know what happened, but it was like, well, who would you leave second? And I was like, Anaya. And then Raya got really butthurt because I skipped over him.
He said, you skipped a whole generation.
Yes. I don't know why he called it generation. I got to do some more homeschooling. Anywho, yeah. And so it just became this whole thing. And it's funny because I started talking to them about birth order and personality, because they were talking about how Theo is mean and da-da-da-da. And I was like, he's not mean. He's just the oldest sibling. So he comes across bossy, but he's really concerned about your well-being and the well-being of whatever. And so anyways, it was a really funny conversation. I was thoroughly entertained by them because then Raya was like,
he's not mean. You don't think he's mean?
He can be mean.
Okay.
But I think it just comes across that way because he's like authoritative. I don't know. But then, I don't know. But anyways, Raya was like, well, who do you think everyone would choose? And I was like, well, Raya, of course they all would choose you because you're the favorite sibling. Well, at least the youngest two would choose you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys know this about our family. Have we talked about this before? But it started with Uzi. Uzi has this thing where he has his whole family ranked.
Yeah, so like, you know how Deion Sanders, I don't know if you guys know this, but Deion Sanders has all his kids ranked.
He does?
Yeah, and he'll be like, yeah, this week you're not my favorite. This person's my favorite. And they're all fighting for like to be the favorite.
The favorite of the week.
Yeah, and sometimes
fun.
they'll be asked in like newscasters, they'll be like, so I guess you're not the favorite this week. He's like, probably not. You know?
So anyways, Uzi has his favorites and he's so consistent. Like, he's so consistent.
Yes.
And so his favorite person in our entire family is Raya Bell. Mm-hmm. And guess who comes in second? Me. Sometimes. Which is ridiculous. Yeah. So one day I made him mad. Okay, so it's for Uzi, it's Raya, Mom, Dad, Anaya, Theo. Right? And so for 1 week I made him mad. I forget what I said or what I did or whatever. I held him accountable. And he came downstairs and he told Glenn, "You're number 2 now."
It was so crazy because I was like, what? He's like, tell Mom that she's third. I was like, what?
I was like, this boy is so serious about this whole ranking situation. It's ridiculous.
And I'm trying to be the lowest on everybody's list. I don't want to be You're not
favorite. On mine. You're my favorite.
I know. Well, I'll probably always be. But all the kids, I want them to like their siblings a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
That's really important. Like, let me be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't think I can be the bad guy as much as I want to. But
anywho, Raya is everybody's favorite sibling.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yeah, true. Yes. Excuse me. All right, so we're about to hop into this email, but before we do, we want to invite you to go to our website, check out HowMarriedAreYouPodcast.com. That's our website. If you're looking for a mentor couple, which most of you need, most of you guys think you can walk into relationships, walk into engagements, and walk into marriage like you walk into the gym, just using equipment, don't know what you're doing in there. And you know you need a trainer. You know you need a trainer. You know you need someone saying, hey, man, you're not supposed to sit on that part, man. That's where your neck goes there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need someone helping you use the equipment. And so we're going to help you use the equipment in your life as far as the relationship is concerned by doing this e-course, Premarital Advantage. Premarital Advantage is on our website. It's really dope. I think most of you guys know that we do this just as kind of like a labor of love. We get to spend time together. We get to talk. But honestly, we don't want you guys walk into relationships thinking that everything is perfect. There'd be so many people talking about couple goals, this and all this stuff. And then it's calamity once you really start to do the work. And we don't want you guys going through that. It's not fair that our parents don't let us hear them argue. Mm-hmm. Or they argue terribly. And then we have to figure out, is this how we're supposed to talk to each other for the rest of our lives? So we want to help you make sure you're choosing right, choosing well, and then ask very important questions, right? So that you can make sure that your decision you're making is right. And even if you feel like, oh man, maybe I didn't make the right decision, you can learn how to make it right with the Premarital Advantage. So that's our little pitch. You won't see many ads on this channel because we're very particular about who we work with, but we do want to honor you guys and give you guys something of value. So the Premarital Advantage is available for you right now. Yvette's got an email. We got another guy.
We have another email from a male figure.
Okay.
And I love, like, no stereotypes to men, but these men are like writing and they're doing paragraphs and all the things. And so it's just really nice.
Shout out to ChatGPT.
You think ChatGPT his situation? What?
I'm just joking.
Normally I wouldn't write into a show, but I do really appreciate the content you've posted on parenting and think your platform is a unique way to clear the air when it comes to issues that I think many men and women fight about. I feel like there's always 3 perspectives to any story, including both sides and the truth, and wanted to briefly share mine. But do think that most men fall into behaviors or patterns which don't support the women around them, and it's rare to find a man who is conscious and empathetic to women's experiences, especially for Black women.
Okay, speak on it, bro. Let's hear about it.
I tell my wife nearly everything, but I've been struggling to connect with her during our 2nd year of marriage as she's been pulling away from me. I was abused by my mother in my childhood.
Sheesh.
And neglected by my father, who is still working until his deathbed and won't retire. These dynamics really colored my experience, and I wasn't able to get in touch with my feelings, to grieve what I lost until I saw how my wife's family system was completely different than mine. Hence, the start of our relationship was overrun with trauma-related issues, and I was not nearly as present as a partner compared to the image I had of myself in my head as the supportive, compassionate person I thought I would be 100% of the time. I struggle with my physical and mental health with chronic pain from stress and anxiety that manifested around the time I realized some of my family members were abusive, manipulative, and enabling to the abuse. We both went through grad school together while working 2 jobs and having little time to hash out drawn-out arguments. Even after school, job stress has been a major part of our lives. Due to her anxious attachment, my partner has threatened to break up with me during our whole relationship due to things she saw in her parents' relationship. Her mom would often threaten to leave, and patterns of disappointment from me not being fully present when she has difficult moments. I've been in therapy for 5 years, and it's upsetting that she only just started therapy 6 months ago, even though she had chances to begin while we were in school for free. And she's resistant to couples therapy now despite our issues because of the time commitment and that dealing with my issues would take too much time from sessions. I'm usually upset because the house isn't clean and I feel like the only one that cares. Nobody else in the house touches the dishes. I do laundry weekly, take care of our cat, and grocery shop for us to meal prep together for several hours each weekend to save money. We live with 2 of her siblings who help to split rent but don't help clean the house and only cook on occasion. While I pick up for things around the house, it's usually emotional support and help with coping that I feel like I fall short on in the relationship. She wants me to support her better, but it's been a struggle because we're both often at 1%. I struggle with accountability because I care about how she sees me and can be self-absorbed when I'm arguing to be seen amongst her arguing for more support. Patriarchy is real, and I know that I have a lot of room to grow. 5 years is a long time, and because she still has unmet needs, I can see why the relationship is struggling. But I committed to staying on the path to change even when it's difficult. It's been hard for me to figure out what I know versus don't know to work on because there's no models for relationships that aren't overrun with patriarchal behaviors and expressions of masculinity as examples. Again, there's few excuses that I would give for how women are treated overall that make sense, and men created and uphold beliefs about masculinity which don't support us. But this stuff just feels hard and larger than life sometimes. I'm curious to hear, Yvette, and your perspective on men who are never good due to mental health or trauma, aka how much is enough before it's okay for the woman to just leave? And how do we better hold space for each other while trying to heal generational wounds? Thanks for your time and wishing you all the best for you and your family.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head
Around what's happening?
Yeah, because it seems like he's walking on eggshells as he doesn't want to be seen a certain way.
So are they eggshells that he put down?
I think they're societal eggshells. They're society's eggshells. That's kind of like, I don't want to be this toxic man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you don't clean up after yourself, I'm going to lose my mind. So
I think that added layer too of living with other people is probably not helpful.
Her people, her siblings is probably because then they all have an experience of the same trauma, possibly, I don't know, coming from the same household. And then I feel like I relate to him a little bit because of I was okay with you leading because I grew up in a house with my mom and she was a leader. You know what I'm saying? And so for a large portion of our marriage, I was okay with you leading. I was like, all right, well, whatever. Leading. What did I say?
I don't know. I just want to make sure we hear that D and don't hear it as a V. Leading.
Okay, leading. And then so I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm okay with my wife leading because I didn't want to be perceived as like, yo, like, I don't want you to feel like I'm always telling you what to do or telling you what you can't do or telling you when you need to do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, I did need you to do this, 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 and this. And I need you to not do this. But I didn't want to say that. But I don't know if society is a part of our relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I should have still been like, you gotta knock this off. This area has to, you know, say like, you don't have to work that much or whatever. You know, I think that was okay for me to say. But because on girl power and, you know, because I feel like I was flipped. So I kind of understand this guy a little bit, but at the same time, I'm having trouble finding a real issue. It seems like he's tiptoeing around it. Because he says, my main issue is that the house isn't clean.
I mean, there are several issues. She's constantly threatening to end the relationship. She's not willing to go to couples therapy. He's been in therapy for 5 years. She just started 6 months ago.
Well, she did start, which is amazing. We got to give her credit for that, because I don't like how that was kind of rolled over. Like, hey, she could have did it when, just be happy she's going, you know?
It seems like he's also acknowledging the fact that he can do those household chores. He can show up in that way, but he doesn't know how to be an emotional support for his wife.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I understand that, because there were situations where you were like, hey, yeah, you can do this all you want, but you don't ever tell me I'm beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't tell me that. I don't get enough words of affirmation, right? And so that would be your thing. And then, like, I'll be like, yeah, but I'm doing this, you know? I'm trying to do this, you know? And you're like, well, I want this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, he needs to work on an emotional support, right? Would you say?
Well, I think what he's saying, he said it's been a struggle because we're both often at 1%.
Burnt out.
Like, they're both depleted from all the things. And he said, I struggle with accountability because I care about how she sees me and can be self-absorbed when I'm arguing to be seen amongst her arguing for more support.
I'm trying to figure out what is making them at 1%. No judgment. They both have 2 jobs.
No, that was during grad school. I don't know if that's currently.
It seems like right now they're like, money is just a lot. Like they're still struggling financially. And they have a cat.
Okay.
And they have 2 roommates. And I'm trying to figure out, the house isn't clean.
And he already mentioned that he struggles with physical and mental health. Chronic pain from stress and anxiety manifested around the time I realized some of my family members were abusing their children and enabling the abuse.
Yeah.
We both went through grad school together, so I feel like went through means they have done while working 2 jobs and having the time to hash out, fly out arguments. Even after school, job stress has been a major part of our lives. So it seems like they must be in careers where their job is stressing them out.
You know, it says, due to her anxious attachment, my partner has threatened to break up with me during our whole relationship.
Yeah.
And they're married. Just these people. Yeah, good. But yeah, I think that I wonder. Man, it's really hard for me to imagine the stress level and the anxiety. Like, I'm trying to figure out what. Okay, so you're anxious, but what is that causing for you? Is that means you're not communicating? Right? Is that what's happening? Like, hey, I'm stressed. Are you communicating? Hey, guys, we need a chore schedule. Like, is that, because to me, in my brain,
And this is just a stupid thing that I do as a man sometimes. I feel like this is not a hard solution here. As far as like, let's get a chore schedule because I'm stressed out and anxious. I don't want to come home to a dirty house. That is the only thing I'm asking. Right? It seems like a simple fix. But if you are anxious about having that conversation, then I understand why the mountain is so high and the hill is so big. Right? Where you're kind of like, I don't even want to talk about this. It just seems like I need help in that. This is how they can help me, but then no one's helping me.
You know what's interesting about that? Don, a few weeks ago, it's probably been a month now, the kids and we sat down at the whiteboard. We listed out all the household chores, what needs to get done, and who is capable of doing it, right? So like, who can help with certain chores. And my responsibility was to take all of that things that we wrote down and create a chore chart. I did that weeks ago. The actual like sitting down to create the chart, and like since then, I've continued to be frustrated and annoyed by the lack of help and care that I'm getting around the house, right? And so like there's something about knowing this thing will help and then doing it. And maybe I have a level of anxiety. I call it stress paralyzation because there's so many other things that I need to be doing as well. And then like when I want to sit down at like a desk or whatever to create said list, it's a cluttered desk or workspace or whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go sit down later. Or I'm going to go wash the dishes or I'm going to start straightening up. You know what I mean?
Or shop. Hey.
Guys, let me tell you something. I have never thought of myself as a violent person.
Yeah.
But I am beginning to realize that my first inclination is always to hit this.
Yeah.
And you want to know how I realized that? Just another type of baby story time. My children, was it my daughter?
Yes.
She pointed out high five. Now, mind you, it's usually just a love tap or like a shut up or whatever. But
sometimes she goes.
The amount of self-control that I have been having to have ever since that conversation or ever since that was pointed out to me is insane.
I say stupid things all the time.
She says
and I think I'm
the
so
most
funny.
ridiculous things all the time. And I don't know why I just want to go, but I do.
Yeah, because you don't have you know why, babe? Because my tongue is sharp and it's not a good thing. And you don't have a sharp tongue like me. So your response is kind of like, you should know better.
And then here's the thing about it too. Like last night in bed? I think I like had just reached over and like, you know, I don't know what I did, but I touched him in a way that was annoying. And I didn't mean to like annoyingly touch him, but as soon as I did it, I was like, why did I do that? Because he didn't come back to him.
Yeah. I was like, why'd you do that? You know I'm crazy.
And I was like, please leave me alone. It was an accident. I'm sorry. But the kids don't see that because it happens in the privacy of the house.
But I don't do anything, babe.
Babe, you be poking me.
You poked me last night.
Picking me up.
Yeah, and I'll throw you on the couch or something like that. Yeah.
Wait, she always does
it. Yeah, because I'm not a bubble.
Don't worry.
I don't want that image of my kids seeing me wrestle.
It's fun. It's playful.
It is very playful. Like, they would laugh.
Yeah, so show them that because they think that I am a violent woman and I don't need my children growing up this way. Yeah. Anyways, in that moment, I got to still have self-control and I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, so the paralysis prevents you from getting to the chores. And I understand that because there's certain things it's kind of like, you know, what is it? It's just like, I don't want to put all this work in and then it doesn't work out and then I'm frustrated again.
I think even like for me, okay, there's a bunch of things, but it's like for me, I just, as a woman, and I think a lot of moms out there can relate and start getting it wrong, but also let me know if you can relate. We feel like it'll just get done quicker ourselves, right? And so that initial like time that it takes to train these people to load the dishwasher correctly, which by the way, Uriah Bo loaded the dishwasher with that last night. And last night, and he did a really decent job. Like, I was like, okay.
But you still redid it.
I did redo it.
I watched you huff and puff through it.
Did I have him puff?
Yes. Because I was like, you want me to call him up back up for you?
So he did. Okay, so here's the thing. He did a good job, but more dishes could have got in if he had done it a different way, if that makes sense. So I was redoing it to be able to put more dishes in the dishwasher. Because I watched him finish, because I came in as he was finishing. And I was like, oh, he's done loading the dishwasher, but there's still a lot of dishes out on the countertop. So I don't really understand what happened there, you know? But for me, I'm always I'm assessing, and maybe that's something I have to train them on. But see, for me, that's more time taken away from what I'm doing with somebody else. But it's like, this time now, same time later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But those are the conversations.
Y'all see what I got to deal with? Y'all see that? That was wild.
No, but it is one of those things where it's like, man, I got to train them to think how I think. And Glenn has to do that too with us when it comes to, like, even the other day when we were recording Amaya's hair getting done, I was really trying to, like, think of what shots we Glenn get and trying to get those shots, you know?
But I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to think about what shots I would get. I just want you to use your own creative and figure it out.
But you're creative as far as my creative.
Yeah. Okay, so when we go to we're doing a dishwashing thing, I would just let them, figure it out.
Yeah, and I think it has to be one of those things too where they load the dishwasher and unload it. Because when you unload it, you see, oh, this dish didn't get cleaned. And then you can kind of see, oh, I should have probably positioned it this way.
And I'm one of the people that don't think it's a right or wrong way to load the dishwasher. That's just me. And that's, that would have her emailing someone about. Because that is really frustrating because she's tried to tell me so many times that I'm like, okay, at this and that go there.
And I'm not trying to make my family anxious over loading a dishwasher.
No. Hold on. But she'll go, yeah, this doesn't go there. We don't put wood in there. We don't put, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, well, there's so many rules. I'll just load it when she's not looking. And then empty it myself, or I have one of the kids empty.
He never empties it himself.
I have one of the kids empty it. Yeah, and I don't know if there's a right way for that. So at the same time, like, I don't necessarily like the house being really clean. That bugs me. It bugs me so much because I feel like there's only one direction to go. Bad.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, then everything starts to get out of place. Like, if the house is extremely clean, I just feel like we're arguing. I've said that before. I feel like we're in an argument. And I don't like it.
You are insane.
Oh, sure. But I'm also very creative. Good points. You have points for that. But I feel bad for this guy. Yeah. I feel bad for this guy because I'm like, all right, bro, like, what's the real issue? Are you having a communication issue?
Yeah.
Right? Do we need to just talk? What happened? This thing isn't recording?
So, right. So what happened just now, right, is our recorder stopped recording because we didn't have enough space on a card. So now I have to find another card, put it in here. And I'm like, we need to organize. I need to move all the files from all of the things and put them away. Okay. Now, Yvette's phone is always running out of space. And I feel like the two things relate. So just like I don't want things all filled up and all that stuff and the files in one place, she wants the house clean. See how I did that, yeah? Made no sense.
Oh my gosh.
Gaslit her and irritated all y'all at the same time.
So what I'm gathering here is there's a lot of talk about patriarchy, masculinity, and then what else did he say up here? Just being empathetic to women's experiences, especially for Black women, etc. So I think what is really happening is he's concerned about, oh no, my battery's about to die, about how he's showing up in this relationship. Mm-hmm. And he knows he could be doing a better job of showing up for his wife. He just doesn't know how to do that or what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so he has an idea as well, but he's afraid of coming off as a stereotypical, and I'm assuming he's a Black man. You know what I'm saying? And so he wants to be the opposite of that and is wanting to know how to show up. And so for me, I think because before the sound went out, I think you were saying, is this a communication issue or is this a what? It was,
it's a communication issue, but the anxiety is toward the communication. It's not toward like, hey, like the house makes me irritated, but the fact that I don't know how to say that in a way that isn't patriarchal, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is the problem.
So I think too, one of the things, and we've said this multiple times, and I know it sounds like you've been open to having a couples therapist, but your wife may not be. I think that person is really helpful in helping that communication move along.
Yeah.
And it helps also to have a place where you feel safe to be able to express that whatever it is, hopefully without feeling as anxious, but allowing them to help it come across to your wife in a way that doesn't present as patriarchal or domineering or whatever the case, whatever it is, insert word that you're afraid of showing up as. So, yeah, I think that it is a communication thing, and the anxiety toward the communication is exactly, I think you hit the nail on the head.
And let us know, like,
yeah,
after this podcast comes out, let us know if we're off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can kind of reassess. But that's what I think it is. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Maybe give us some more clarity on that once you have an opportunity to like chime back in. You want to do another email?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to just skip over the women anymore.
No. Go to a woman.
We're going to go to a woman. And she wrote in, the title of the email is How to Help When I'm Not Supposed to Know Anything.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this is what I like.
You live for the drama. Hello, Yvette and Glenn. I have a dilemma that I have been sort of avoiding, but after listening to a couple of your episodes, I'm hoping you might be able to help me with this. So there's a couple that my husband and I are friends with. We recently found out through a third party that the husband cheated on his wife twice within the space of a year. The first time was right before she found out she was pregnant with their third child. She found out and confronted him and said it was done, blah, blah, blah. But soon after she had the baby, she was living with her sister who was helping her with the baby.
Wait. What? What was done?
What was done?
She found out that what?
Okay, so there's a couple that my husband and I are friends with. We recently found out through a third party that the husband cheated on his wife twice within the space of 1 year.
Got it.
The first time was right before she found out she was pregnant with their third child. She found out and confronted him and said it was done. And he said it was done.
Got it. Okay, so she found out that he cheated once.
Yes.
Got it.
And apparently all of this was happening while they were friends, but they were not aware of this.
Got it.
Okay. But soon after she had the baby, she was living with her sister who was helping her with the baby when she found out he had cheated on her again. I'm wondering if she was living with the sister by herself or with him.
So so the wife knows that okay, got it.
He actually tried to get her to accept this new girlfriend as a friend of the family to help him take care of the older kids.
The drama!
Because she wasn't around. Oh. So she was living with her sister. Her and the third baby were living with the sister while the husband was living with the older kids, and he needed help taking care of the older kids.
So he tried to get him a side piece, a side piece nanny.
I found all of this out because I overheard a voice note she sent to someone she confided in.
How that happened?
Now. So how you overhear a voice note? Was it the friend or was it a mutual friend?
I overheard a voice note. Oh, that the friend maybe got from her, maybe.
So let's pretend I'm the girl whose husband is cheating on her. Mm-hmm. You're hanging out with my friend. I send a voice note to my friend. She just plays it thinking, oh, it's probably whatever. But then you hear what she's saying and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Your jaws just drop.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's how it went down.
Yeah.
Okay. So fast forward, this couple is still acting like everything is rosy on social media, but she sometimes posts these cryptic messages about being lonely and depressed and how hard life is. And I've been wanting to support her through it all without letting out that I know what she is going through because she obviously doesn't want to talk about it. How do I help? Do I just mind my own business and pray? Thank you so much for even reading this, and God bless you as you pour into our lives. Have a lovely week.
This is really sad. Well,
And they're
what's the
listening from
problem?
Ghana.
What's the problem?
She is like, this is my friend. I want my friend to know that I know. But my friend is obviously not wanting me to know.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, for me, I'm trying to think, what would I do?
I already know what you would do.
Glenn don't think I would confront him, but I would. But like, girl, why you not tell me? Actually, would I?
No, you would not. You would not, babe.
Let me think. It depends on who it is. Yeah.
Babe, I would have to force you to do that.
True.
I'd be like, hey, that's why you're not even a real good friend of that person, because you ain't even tell them.
Yep. No. Tell them what? That I know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it doesn't matter.
I
It's
think
not really
if they
any of her
know,
business.
because I was afraid as I was reading, I was like, oh Lord, please tell me she doesn't have to tell her friend that her husband's cheating on her.
Yes, that's what I thought
That's
it
what
was.
I thought it was about to be. But this is different. It's like, oh, I heard through the grapevine that my friend has been dealing with this and she didn't tell me. And probably due to embarrassment or shame or whatever the case may be. But it's like, hey, listen, I know what's happening in your life. Because for me, I just had this conversation with another friend. I was like, she posted something on social media. And I was like, what kind of friends are we if I'm finding this out on social media?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is totally fine, to each their own. But she was like, there's so much going on in the community and I didn't want, to add to whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, we all matter.
Yeah.
I felt it felt too close to what.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, one, I understand that it's none of your business. You don't... I can still hear you. Eating your tortilla chips. This takes me back to 2018. When we first started the podcast. You used to be sitting there drinking and eating. Yeah, like, I think... Stop. Can you wait? Eat a banana. You guys might not be able to hear that, but she's chewing, y'all. So anyway, I think that, it's none of your business, straight up. Like, you could literally just mind your business and be fine. The thing is, what are you gonna do? You're gonna know, and now you want to help. How you want to help? What's the plan? I would like to know what's the plan. Hey, I know that my sister is going through something, and I just want her to know she's not alone. Therefore, I want her to... Somebody right now is hiding something from me, and they don't think I know. It's so dumb. So now everyone's like, don't tell them. They told me not to tell you. And I'm like, why they tell you not to tell me? I known them longer than you known them. And they like, well, they want to be the ones to tell you. And I'm like, all right. And then the longer it takes, they like, well, how you going to act? You going to act surprised when you find out? I was like, no, I'm going to tell them I know, and I'm going to tell them y'all told me.
And you know what's funny? At first, I was like, babe, just let it be like he told you. But it's been so long now that I'm like, can we just know?
Yeah.
Can y'all just tell us? Like, stop playing this game. Just tell us. Because now we have to prepare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of stuff. It's unnecessary. Okay. I decided I know how I would deal with this situation.
Okay.
I've had a time to fill my eat my brain. I'm hungry, y'all. I didn't have lunch. But I think, so for me, there are a couple questions I would ask myself, because I've been in situations where something, has taken place, and the other person was like, why didn't you say anything to me? And I really had to sit with that and be like, you weren't a safe space for me. Like, you were not someone that I could trust with this information. I didn't trust how you would deal with this or take this information. And so I think that there's something to be said about the fact that she doesn't feel like she can come to you and tell you this.
Yeah.
You're not a safe space for her.
Whoa.
Okay. Maybe you're
Whoa.
not. Okay. Maybe the other thing too. Oof. Okay. Let me take it back. I'm going to take it back. Okay. Is maybe it's not so much that you're not a safe space for her. So I'm not going to automatically assume that. That is a possible truth, but it may not be the truth. I think sometimes too, people don't like to share information with us or tell us things that are going on in their life because of the accountability that we bring to the table, or because of the truth that they know that we are going to speak into their life, and they don't want to hear it. They want their behavior to be enabled. They want to wallow. They want this, that, or the other. And they know that you are going to call them to something higher or better. And maybe that's what you are to them.
Cause you to deal with it.
And so maybe don't take it personally and just show up for them in a way, like, don't tell them you know. Don't tell them you know.
Yeah.
Let them bring that information to you. And maybe try to just avail yourself to be open and loving and whatever, so that they want to share with you. And if they never do, they just never do.
Yeah.
It's just something you know that they don't know you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think that is really good insight. You know what I'm saying? And I also think sometimes people do that to protect the partner. They don't want the partner to be aired out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you might be somebody that he may not be like, I don't really want these people around or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So what obviously she feels like she has to keep this close to her. And she doesn't know what the benefit is of sharing. Like, what's the benefit of letting other people know that this is her situation? Who does that make? Like, who wins there? You know, she's probably already decided, like, hey, I'm not going to leave this man. You know what I mean? Or if I leave, where do I go? Who's going to help me? You know, who's really there for me? And that's just a truth that she has to sit with. And you're going to have to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you just got to take that. I respect you for, like, having this information and not, like, airing her out or just approaching her like, girl, why you ain't tell me? You know what I'm saying? Or how can I be praying for you or whatever, you know? I think it's sad that she feels alone. You know what I'm saying? And she's been talking about being depressed. I would just love on her as best as possible. Hey, girl, I feel like you probably need a spa day. I don't know why, but I just want to bless you. You know,
or just take her kids, watch her kids, and
like just
let her have a moment to herself.
Yeah.
That is one of the best gifts anybody can give. Childcare.
And sometimes, like, hey, girl, I made you something to eat. I made you. I wanted to cook dinner. I just want to be a blessing. Like, you know, just continue to give them, you know, your spiritual gifts. You know, that God has given you. That would be my suggestion. Because sometimes, like, you telling her that you know is going to make her feel naked. You know what I'm saying? And, like, shame, possibly.
And I'm not sure if they are believers or anything like that, but maybe even just creating community. I really feel like community is so valuable.
Yes.
You know, like, obviously you guys are friends, but, like, creating opportunities to get together, game night, Bible study, family dinner, whatever you want to call it, family dinner. You know, I think those are also good as well.
Yeah. How married are you?
I'm so married. I planned my birthday for myself so that it would relieve you of any pressure to perform. Is that a good one? No.
I mean, I
didn't know.
guess.
I was trying to think of something. You know, like,
Yeah.
I was trying to protect maybe myself from being disappointed or
Of how I celebrate anything.
So I was like, let me just go ahead and
you know,
take
I'm so sad that is something that is really big for you, because I'm just like, that is like the worst thing.
No, it's not. It's just
for me, I'm really bad at that.
Okay, so let me take it. Maybe I should come up with a different.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to say that, like, I don't know when I'm going to be good at that.
Yeah, you're actually like when you do you do a great job. I just knew this year, like I wanted to do something for my birthday, and so I had to make sure that I planned it, or else I knew it wouldn't happen, and it would be the week of, and then I'd just be like,
Yeah.
you know. So maybe that was my own thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me try to think of something else. Come on. Let me think. I'm so married that when I was coming down to record this podcast, I was like, oh, I'm hungry. I have the munchies. Let me grab something for myself. But I grabbed 2 of everything I brought for myself so that you could have
What are
some.
chips? You ain't bring me no chips. Thank you.
The chips were supposed to be done before we started recording, and then something happened. I don't know. I just didn't finish them. How married are you, my love?
I'm so married that early this year, man, we got into this huge argument about time blocking. And you were like, we need to block out time for me to da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? Well, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Is that realistic? And you're like, time blocking. So we had this thing on our agenda. We kept trying to fit it in. And Yvette's been time blocking. I think. I would say so.
This doesn't feel like a how married are you?
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes it'll be like 10 o'clock and she'd be like, good morning. She's been up since like 4:30 and she's seeing the kids for the first time. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening here? But yeah.
So what's happened is I've been going to boot camp in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't mind that at all.
I used to go to the 5:30 a.m. classes. And I feel like when I go to the 5:30 a.m. classes, I show up in the day sooner. But when I go to the 6:30 a.m. classes, it's something about it. Like, so what happens is at 5:30 a.m., okay, I'm going to explain myself. I'm sorry. I have to. At 5:30 a.m., the class ends at 6:15. So if I try to go to Sprouts isn't even open till 7. So I'm like, I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes and then go home.
Yeah.
So after the 5:30 a.m. class, I'll just come straight home. Mm-hmm. But when I go to the 6:30 a.m. class, I will be like, oh, Sprouts is open. I'm going to stop at Sprouts. Now, this isn't every morning because you shouldn't go to the grocery store every day, but that'll sometimes happen, right? Like this morning, for example.
What happened this morning? Let's talk about this morning. Because I checked your location.
What? And I was at Sprouts.
You was at the house.
Oh.
This nigga was sitting in the driveway just kicking it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, what is you doing? I'm like, where is she at? She texted me an hour ago and asked me for anything from Sprouts. I'm like, oh, she's here. She's about to come in. I wake up. I'm like, oh, she's about to come in. Uzi, come in. Can I have a waffle? Can I have a pancake for breakfast? I'm like, what is going on? And I'm sick this morning. I'm like, what's going on? And she was just sitting in the driveway. What were you doing?
I was scrolling, y'all. I was scrolling because you know what happened? You know what happened too? Is this morning, I didn't feel like going to the gym.
No, you told me last night you weren't going to go.
I did. I was like, I didn't feel like going. And I was like, if I don't go now, because what happens is I don't go first thing in the morning, I will not work out. Mm-hmm. And I'm not telling everybody this, but now the wedding party knows. I'm doing the 75 soft. I'm on day, I think I'm on day
21, 22.
I'm on week 3. I don't know.
Week 3, okay. So 18.
Maybe day 21. I don't know. No, because 3 weeks would be 21. So I'm before that. Anyways, I'm trying to make it through, you guys. I'm trying to make it through. I'm trying to finish. And so I have to work out for 45 minutes every day. And if I go to boot camp, that is a guaranteed 45-minute workout. And they're closed on Sundays. So basically, I've been trying to go Monday through Saturday. And then Sundays, I'll do a walk, right? So if I don't go first thing in the morning, I just won't work out, you know. Anywho, with that being said, I didn't feel like going this morning. I was really tired. And then so afterwards, I went to Sprouts.
It's good.
And then when I got home, I was like, I gotta take all these groceries in. I'm going to have to unload them. I already knew the kitchen was a mess. And I knew I had to deal with the kids. And I was just sitting there. I sat there. And are you even a mom or a parent if you don't sit in the driveway? Because you be doing it too, bruh.
Yeah, I've done it more since I realized you do it. Well, let me go ahead and take my time real quick.
Wait, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Babe, that is not true because at At Meadow Lake, you used to sit in. I used to look out at Nine Uzi's room and see you just sitting in the truck.
Meadow Lake was a whole different individual. We were going through a whole different set of problems at that place. Would you agree?
Oh my gosh! And that's just how married we are.